Just picture it for a moment. It's 3 a.m., you're lying in bed, and you suddenly have this thought. What happens when I die? I'm wondering if I'll cease to exist. I know this is something that's on your mind, and I want you to know that you're not alone. It's a question that everyone on Earth is grappling with. From the ancient Egyptians who built pyramids as gateways to eternity to modern scientists exploring consciousness beyond the brain, we are all desperate to find the answer to this question. Wars have been fought over this question, and it's a topic close to many people's hearts. Many religions are based on this idea, and it's something we can all get behind. It's a topic that's been stirring up some debate in many families. But what if the answer has been there all along, waiting for you in the pages of an ancient book? Throughout history, many people have tried to understand death. But, none of these attempts have offered the complete and detailed plan we are about to discover together. We know the answer is out there, waiting for you. The question is, are you brave enough to face the truths that this ancient wisdom will reveal about your last moment on Earth? In 1945, a farmer was digging for fertilizer in the Egyptian desert when his shovel hit something hard. What he found would change everything we thought we knew about ancient knowledge. A collection of texts was found hidden inside a sealed clay jar. The jar was wrapped in leather that had survived for thousands of years. This collection of texts would later be called the most important archaeological discovery of the 20th century. But here's where it gets mysterious. This wasn't just any ancient book. The text was written in many languages, some of which we still can't fully understand. Carbon dating revealed it to be over 3,000 years old, yet the knowledge contained within seemed impossibly advanced for its time. The book described ideas about consciousness, the separation of the soul, and other realms that wouldn't appear in mainstream thought for millennia. What made this discovery even more interesting was the condition of the manuscript. While other papyrus documents from the same period had crumbled to dust, this book remained surprisingly well preserved. It was as if some mysterious force had protected it over the years. Local legends spoke of strange lights coming from the burial site at night. Several archaeologists reported having vivid dreams after touching the text. The dreams included tunnels, bright lights, and beings of pure energy. The book's title, translated roughly, means the guide for the departing soul, but scholars quickly realized this was no ordinary religious text. Other ancient writings used metaphors and parables, but this book gave step-by-step instructions, detailed descriptions, and what appeared to be a literal map of the afterlife journey. Researchers were very curious about something. They wondered how an ancient civilization could have such detailed knowledge about something that, by definition, no living person should know anything about. Now get ready for what you're about to hear, because this old text talks about the death process in a way that will make your skin crawl and your heart beat faster at the same time. The book says that when your body dies, your soul doesn't leave right away. Instead, it hovers above your body for exactly 7 minutes and 13 seconds. This time is the same as the window for successful revival that modern resuscitation medicine has confirmed. During these crucial minutes, the soul experiences what the text calls the Great Confusion. This is when the soul tries to return to the body. At this point, the soul doesn't understand that death has occurred. But then they separate. It's violent, sudden, and permanent. The book describes it as being pulled by invisible hands through layers of reality. The soul is pulled from the physical world through a passage called the tunnel, according to modern researchers of near-death experiences. However, ancient texts offer a surprising and chilling perspective on this tunnel that is often overlooked in modern accounts. The tunnel isn't just a passageway, it's alive. The walls are filled with memories from your whole life, including the good and bad moments. The book warns that many people become trapped here because it's overwhelming to relive their entire life in a matter of seconds. They describe souls who feel trapped in this tunnel, unable to move forward because of the weight of their memories. Those who successfully make it through the memory challenge will find themselves in a world of impossible beauty and terror. Near-death experiencers often talk about a famous light, but the book says that this light is actually a being. This being is a type of pure consciousness. The book calls this being the Great Judge. This isn't the kind, grandfatherly figure described in many religious traditions. According to an old text, this being can see deep into your soul. It judges you based on your true intentions, not your actions. The book describes 3 possible outcomes of this judgment, and none of them align with what modern religions teach us. There's the realm of continuation, where souls who have achieved perfect balance between their desires and their compassion get to choose their next experience. There's the realm of learning, where souls who lived with good intentions but made significant mistakes undergo what the text describes as purification through understanding. This is not punishment, but an intensive education in the consequences of their choices. The book spends the most time describing a third realm. It will haunt your dreams. It's called the realm of repetition, where souls who lived primarily for themselves are forced to experience their life from the perspective of everyone they ever hurt. The book describes souls spending what feels like thousands of years living through every moment of pain they caused others. They experience this pain not as the person causing it, but as the person experiencing it. The most terrifying and compelling detail in the text is that the book claims that some souls choose to return to Earth not to help others or achieve enlightenment, but because they become addicted to physical sensations and can't handle the intensity of pure consciousness. They become what the text calls hungry ghosts. These are souls that keep reincarnating, never learning or growing. They're trapped in a cycle of seeking satisfaction that can never be found. You probably have a lot of questions about this. Which world would your soul go to? And more importantly, is there anything you can do about it while you're still alive? This ancient text is mind-blowing and a little frightening. As scholars began comparing the book's descriptions with other cultural traditions around the world, they discovered something unexpected. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, written thousands of miles away and centuries later, describes a similar journey of the soul. The Egyptian Book of the Dead also mentions this 7-minute hovering period. Ancient Greek mystery schools taught about the same 3 realms of existence. Hindu religious texts describe the same tunnel of memories. Aboriginal Dreamtime stories speak of the same living light that judges soul. But here's the surprising part. These cultures weren't even in contact with each other when these books were written. There were no trade routes, no communication, and no way to share this incredibly specific information. It's hard to believe, but civilizations that are far apart and existed thousands of years ago all talk about death in the same way. Modern near-death experience research has documented over 25,000 cases, and the consistency is amazing. The tunnel, the light, the life review, the sense of judgment, it's all there, just as it says in our old text. Dr. Raymond Moody, the man who first used the term near-death experience, has admitted that the similarities between modern accounts and ancient descriptions are statistically impossible unless they're describing the same real phenomenon. Researchers are concerned about something. Many different sources are describing the same thing. What does that mean for people who are still alive? Are we all heading toward the same judgment, the same choice between realms, the same potential trap of endless repetition? The ancient book also talks about something that's present in almost every culture, but is rarely talked about openly. This is the idea of soul preparation. The text says that how you experience death and what realm you enter isn't chosen randomly. It depends on how well you've prepared your consciousness during life. It's like training for the most important test you'll ever take, except most people don't even know they should be studying. Different cultures develop different ways to prepare for the afterlife. These methods included meditation, good deeds, spiritual practices, and consciousness expansion. But all of these methods had the same goal: to strengthen the soul so it could navigate the afterlife journey without getting lost or trapped. The question that should be on your mind is, what if these beliefs aren't just old superstitions or stories? What if they're instructions for the most important trip you'll ever take? I know what you're thinking. This all sounds fascinating, but can we really trust a 3,000-year-old book to tell us about something as mysterious as death? Well, here's where things get really interesting. Modern science is starting to agree with ancient wisdom in ways that will surprise you. Quantum physics has discovered that consciousness might not be produced by the brain. It might be received by the brain, like a radio tuning into a signal. If consciousness exists outside of physical matter, then it's possible that consciousness could survive after death. The old book's idea that souls are like energy is similar to Einstein's well-known equation. Energy can change form but cannot be created or destroyed. Scientists who study the brain and death have found that people who are very close to dying, with no brain activity, no heartbeat, and no measurable consciousness, can still have very vivid, detailed experiences and come back with information that they couldn't possibly have known. This directly supports the ancient book's claim that consciousness continues to function after physical death. But here's where it gets really strange. The book talks about how the soul's journey happens in dimensions that are beyond what we can normally see, which has 3 dimensions. Modern string theory and quantum mechanics suggest that our universe might actually have 11 dimensions, most of which we can't perceive. What if the realms described in the ancient text aren't just made up, but are actually other dimensions that exist right next to our own? The book also talks about time being different in the afterlife. Souls go through a process of purification that feels like it takes a long time, but it's actually happening very quickly, or they spend forever looking through memories. Modern physics has shown that time is relative and can be slowed down under certain conditions. Our understanding of time can seem impossible to understand, but it becomes possible when we look at it in a different way, using relativity theory. But here's where ancient wisdom and modern science disagree, and this disagreement should make you very uncomfortable. Science can theorize about consciousness surviving death, but it can't tell you how to prepare for it. Science can measure near-death experiences, but it can't help you make moral decisions the way an ancient text can. The book says that most people today are not ready to die, so they will keep on living the same lives over and over again. They will keep on hurting the people they have hurt in the past. It suggests that our modern focus on material success, individual achievement, and instant gratification is actually the worst possible preparation for what comes next. But there's hope in these old pages. The text also gives specific instructions for preparing your soul. There are practices that can make you more aware of yourself, make you more caring, and make sure you don't become one of those people stuck in the past or do the same things over and over again. Ask yourself, if there's even a possibility that this ancient wisdom is true, is it worth ignoring it? What if the most important test of your existence is one you're currently failing without even knowing you're taking it? We have now finished our exploration of one of the most mysterious and potentially life-changing texts ever discovered. We've explored a book that claims to have the ultimate answer to the most important question of all: what is the meaning of life? And I have to ask, are you the same person who started watching this video? Here's what we've learned from this ancient wisdom. Death isn't the end. It's a transition that every person will face. How you experience that transition depends entirely on how well you've prepared your soul during life. The book describes a specific journey, 7 minutes of confusion, a tunnel of memories, judgment by a being of pure light, and placement into one of 3 realms based not on your actions, but on your true intentions and level of spiritual development. The most shocking realization is that most people are not ready for this journey and may find themselves stuck in cycles of repetition, experiencing the pain they've caused others or lost in the tunnel of their own memories. The most hopeful message is that this fate isn't inevitable. The book provides a roadmap for soul preparation that can ensure you navigate death successfully. I promised you at the beginning that this video would answer humanity's biggest question, and I believe it has. The truth is that knowing it is only the first step. Your fate, when your final moment arrives, will be determined by what you do with this knowledge. The ancient text makes one thing crystal clear. Ignorance isn't bliss when it comes to death. It's a trap that could cost you your soul, but knowledge without action is also dangerous. It makes you one of those people who know what's going to happen but don't do anything to prepare for it. I'm going to leave you with the same question that has bothered humanity since the beginning of time, but now you have the tools to answer it. What happens when you die? What are you going to do about it while you still have time? This isn't just about death, it's about how you live. Every interaction, every choice, and every moment of compassion or selfishness prepares your soul for the journey ahead. The old book says that the quality of your death experience depends on the quality of your life choices. For all of us, time is running out. Please share your thoughts in the comments. Has this ancient wisdom changed how you think about death? More importantly, will it change how you live? Are you going to start preparing your soul for death, or will you continue living as if it's something that happens to other people? If this video has shown you new possibilities, click the like button and share it with someone who needs to see it. If this ancient knowledge is true, sharing it might be one of the most compassionate acts you can perform. Remember, according to this 3,000-year-old text, we're all going to face the same judgment and have the same opportunity for transcendence or repetition. The only question is, will you be ready? What are your thoughts? The comments section is waiting for your input, and so is your soul's preparation for the journey ahead.